This is Blair Underwood
Hi, I'm Nicole Ari Parker, and you're watching Our World.
with Black Enterprise.
For decades, it's been lights, camera, action for these two superstars. But now they're hitting the stage on Broadway for their debut. Blair Underwood and Nicole Ari Parker are our all-access guests.
You must be Stanley. I'm Blanche.
Oh, Stella's sister.
Yes,
Hello. Where's Little Woman?
in the bathroom.
Here with the stars of the revived Broadway hit, A Streetcar Named Desire. Blair Underwood, Nicole Ari Parker, thank you so much for being here. Good to see you.
for having
Good to
us.
see you. First of all, congratulations. You have now been extended to August, right?
Yes.
That's a big deal.
No, it's a big deal. So they
Yeah.
extended the show a month, which is great.
Shows are closing around us, and apparently we're just selling out by word of mouth.
Yeah, it's
You
exciting.
know, the word on the street is it's the show to come to. And
There is a huge buzz. Why is this the show to come to?
I think that it's a classic American play, and B, Blair Underwood's in it. So
No, it's just, I mean, like Nicole said, it's a classic, and many people feel as though they either know it or think they know it. So, you know, it's important to have a barometer, a point of reference.
Now, one of the perceptions is that you all have radically changed the play from the original Tennessee Williams version, or even the Brando version that they see.
Minor changes.
minor changes. I think people are also basing it on the movie. A lot of people haven't read the actual play, and they're going off the movie version in 1951, which was made at a time when censorship was very high, and it's very sanitized. Most of the story, the key turning points in the story, are taken out in the movie. So when you come to the theater and you see some of the violence and some of the passion, it's startling.
All of you, please go home. If any of you have one spark of decency in you.
Hey!
Stella, watch out! You think your hands on me? This is gonna have a baby!
If you had to rate it, it'd definitely be PG-13. I mean, the movie would be, it's 1951. Big issues with the Breen Office of Censorship at the time. There are three major issues. I mean, there's a rape that takes place, there's pedophilia, and, you know, there's talk of Blanche's character with a 17-year-old boy, which would be considered pedophilia, and homosexuality.
Right.
So those three issues, you couldn't really put on the screen in 1951.
You all are saying you actually are honoring the original play far more even than the film version, because one of the critiques that are coming out is that, you know, somehow because there are black people in it, that's not what Tennessee Williams initially intended. What do you all say about that?
Well, I'm an American, and I'm an actor, and this is a play, and we're doing it. The same words that are on that page are coming out of my mouth with love and respect for this material, and if it's upsetting people, great. If it's making people come out of their seats, great. If it's making people give us a standing ovation every single night
Since the first preview.
Since the
Wow.
first preview, great. And if it's enough to bring people back 2 and 3 times to get an extension, even more great. So I think that our presence always has ruffled feathers, no matter what we're doing.
We are multicultural because we have white brothers and sisters, Latino brothers, so it is multicultural. But even then, people would say, and I heard people say, Tennessee Williams will be turning over in his grave. That is wishful thinking, because Emily Mann, our director, knew Tennessee Williams and knew where his head was. This was a man of the South, grew up in Mississippi. He was a gay man of the South. He was an outsider, lived in the French Quarter when he wrote Streetcar Named Desire, knew that the different cultures, the Creole, the French, the Spanish, and the African. He knew that world.
One of my lines is, I was played out. Do you know what played out means? And the audience laughs because it's a statement that we say in our community, and people have actually thought I made it up. But that's in the play. He wrote that in 1947.
Wow, so he was sort of even culturally ahead of his time.
Yes.
Sounds like he would have been
yes,
happy to see this play.
yes.
Quite the opposite of what
You
people
know,
are saying.
We'll never know. We like to think so, but
Yeah.
there's no reason why someone should not see this play just because there are black people in it. It's a wonderful production.
Talk to me about what it means to do Broadway versus a TV show or a film or all the things that you all have done. What's the preparation process? Like, how's it different?
Wow.
Well, we have 4 weeks of rehearsal, which is criminal when you're doing Tennessee Williams. We should have at least had 6
not a
or
lot of
7.
time.
It's not a lot of time. The material is so rich, but we have rehearsal, and then 8 shows a week is pretty intense. You know,
Wow.
it's a very, for my character at least, is a 3-hour emotional and mental decline. And I'm using everything that I have, my mind, my body, my soul, everything is my voice. We have to fill that theater. So I find it much more challenging than film.
What about the response? I mean, I understand the preparation is intense, but the satisfaction you get from hearing a crowd immediately respond or immediately laugh or feel something, what's that like?
Audience is another
electric.
character.
It's electric. It's
way.
magical. It's that when people talk about getting that bug, have you been bitten by that acting bug? That's part of the bug. It's the creation of the character. It's the manifestation of the character, the presentation, but it's also the response. Being in that room with that audience at the same time, and that partnership that you have as the actor, the entertainer with the audience, and that give and take, it's incredible. You
all seem to have the secret to longevity.
Well, thank you.
Most people don't last that long. How have you all managed to stay alive even in the business?
It's not waiting for somebody to hire you. It's creating opportunities, and that's why I started a production company. And you know, a lot of actors nowadays entertainers are doing that because you realize you can't be beholden to a studio exec or a network exec or a theater producer to hire you. If they do, if it comes along, that's great. If not, you're creating your own employment and opportunities, not just for yourself, but for other people.
I think also that more African Americans are very interested in what's happening behind the camera. And that's changing what's in front of the camera, because I think it took us a while to figure out that if we're the producer, we have more power than if we're the star sometimes. Right. And if we're the writer, we can control the dialogue and the images. And if we're the director, we can compose those shots. So I think that like our producers are the only black producers on Broadway right now. Lastly,
let me ask you a question. When we look at the sweep of Hollywood for black folk in the last 20 years, we've seen some growth, we've seen some development around ownership, around inclusion. What do you think the next 10 years is going to look like? Do you see the future of black Hollywood to be bright?
I'm going to always take the positive upswing. It has to be. And I think, yes, I'll go with that, partially because of conversations like this and the reality of people's thinking, not just as artists, but as entrepreneurs.
So you've mastered Broadway, Hollywood, TV. What is next for you two? What's the next big thing?
We're going to hop the pond?
I don't know. We're thinking about it.
You know, the producers want to take the play to London after this.
Really?
Yeah, to open in October. So
we've been invited to the West End, and we're pretty excited.
Yeah.
You should be
excited. This whole wave has been really exciting and phenomenal. And really, I have to say, if you build it, they'll come. You know, our people will come, and they're coming in droves to Streetcar. So we're grateful to the audience.
Yes, and I'm also really grateful, you know, because this really is a dream come true. And when you're a grown-up, you know, childhood dreams get further and further away. And whenever I get the opportunity to tell someone, I want to make sure I remind people that you should never give up. You really should never give up, because it really could happen, and it most likely will if you just hold on and believe.
Wow. Well, I'm grateful to you all for the amazing work you're doing and for spending some time with us today.
Oh, man.
Thank you so much. Pleasure.
Thank you, brother.
Pleasure. Thank you. Stay right there. I'll be back with more Our World with Black Enterprise. Up next, the panel of experts breaks down the rhymes and reasons of hip-hop culture.
Our World with Black Enterprise is sponsored in part by Toyota, moving forward.